and improving liquids and solids, and he believes those liquids and solids can be programmed with intention. All right, so here is my interview with him. Let me know what you think. Jerry, so what's the difference between gold that we wear, that we dig up from the ground, and monatomic gold, which is a product that you sell?
So the gold that we dig up out of the ground is metallic, and the monatomic gold that we sell in our product that we ingest is non-metallic. And so how we get there is it's the atoms of the gold that are non-metallic. The bonds that hold the atoms together, that is the metallic part. So by breaking the bonds, we transfer it from the metallic gold, which we can wear, to the non-metallic gold that we can ingest, right? And so once it's in this non-metallic state, it's a rare form of it's carbon, and so it's a silica. And so the silica, when we ingest it, it has all these amazing effects for the body. So that's the difference. One's metallic, one's non-metallic.
And what kind of effects does the monatomic gold have on our body, specifically our DNA?
So what's so special about monatomic gold and DNA is frequencies. Monatomic gold and the DNA, they both resonate to the same frequency. And so this monatomic gold, it lights up the DNA and it activates it, right? And so that's what's so special about it is the DNA, once it becomes active, there's these things called telomeres on the ends of the DNA. And for the longest time, scientists thought they were junk DNA, and they're not. These are just extra functions that have been shut off, right? And so the monatomic gold feeds those. And once they're fed, they activate, and this activates the light body, which is also known as the Merkaba. And so by, ingesting this monatomic gold, you become super conductive, and it activates your light body, which lets you tap into all these different functions of the body.
Can you just explain what the light body is, maybe for people that don't study this stuff on a regular basis, and how the body, the physical body with DNA reacts with the light body? So 2 parts to that question. What is the light body, and how does our body react with the light body?
Okay, so the light body, or has been known as the vehicle of ascension, is a star tetrahedron shaped energy field around your body. So it's been seen as the 6-pointed star is the 2-dimensional version of that. The Merkaba would be a 3D version of that. There's if you've ever seen sacred geometry, a lot of people know what this shape is. It's like 2 3-sided pyramids inverted into each other, and so basically it's a light projection from our body. So our cells project this light body, once it's turned on, and it is it's a projection of us. And so this it's pretty much crystalline too. So they found that we are living crystals, and so this light body is a projection of us. And it's awesome because you can actually see it. When someone has it activated, you see like little flashes of light. It's been known as the rainbow body of light, and it's visible, with your eye, or other people can see it as well.
Very cool. So throughout history, and I've done a lot of work on this, I've written a lot of shows about the idea of, in ancient Egypt, they call them the shining ones, or gods and goddesses are always adorned with gold. They're painted with gold. Maybe they ingested monatomic gold, but the idea of gold in ancient cultures is really prevalent. So do you feel that they understood this mechanism, that if they ingested gold, if they used gold, if they painted their body with it, that they would be able to control not only their physical body, but their light body? And if that's true, do you think that they were able to interdimensionally communicate with things?
Yes, absolutely. So the first part of that question, you were asking, like, do you think that they were aware of this? Yes. So the reason why these ancient civilizations were obsessed with gold was because they knew that the conductivity of the gold was the gateways to these higher states, right? And so they adorned themselves with it because the metal itself was, really conductive, but they would take it and they would make little cakes out of it. They would mix it with the frankincense and then make it into these little triangular shapes. And then they would feed them to the pharaohs and the kings and the priests and, all these different people. And when they would ingest these cakes, it would increase their frequency. It would activate the light body. And then the light body is, how we shift, interdimensionally or we use these multidimensional abilities. We tap into it with the Merkaba light body.
That's interesting. I didn't know that they ingested frankincense. I mean, I know that that's a big incense in a temple, but I didn't know they actually ingested it. Interesting.
Yeah, they would make little cakes out of the monatomic gold and the frankincense. We don't mix ours with frankincense, but this is just what was in the ancient writings about this.
So there's monatomic gold, but Ormus is the name for monatomic gold. Am I correct?
Okay, so Ormus is an acronym, actually. So Ormus is orbitally rearranged monatomic elements, right? And so it's actually Ormi, but we call it Ormus. And so and so there's actually a whole group of elements that can become monatomic. They're known as the noble metals. It's a whole branch. It's a gold, silver, platinum, palladium, iridium. There's 14 of them, but so all of these elements can become monatomic, and they all have different effects. But the gold is the one that interacts with the DNA, right? And that's the one that gives us these taps into the light body.
Amazing. All right. Well, that would make sense that if anybody knows anything in any high society or government principle, that they would maybe want to be mining things in space. And continue that trade. And maybe they know more about that than we think they do.
Yeah, definitely. There's probably a lot to it in the space because monatomic minerals can actually be found in anything. Like everything has them in there. And so they can actually be extracted from, you could extract them from a 2x4. There's a video of that on the internet somewhere. But it can be extracted from different minerals, different salts, different this, different that. You can take the gold and get monatomic gold from that, but you can also take any other minerals, and there's traces of things and everything. And so, if it was just for the monatomic gold, then I think that they can get more of it on Earth. But I think that they're looking for gold for other things than just ingesting.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, I didn't really know anything about monatomic gold until I kind of went down this rabbit hole, and I thought, wow, this is so cool. I mean, what if that's true? I just recently started taking his supplement, and I've been working with my staff and my crystals, weirdo.
I love it.
And I have realized that I can jump into a meditation faster. Like there's no extra noise happening in my head. Like I can get into my meditation faster.
Interesting.
But if you guys want to try
it, you can't control the weather yet, but you're getting there.
I'm getting there. Pretty soon, me and DARPA are going to be working together. They're going to be calling me.
Just start shooting lightning bolts.
I'm going to be the new Storm. Watch out.
She could already do that. Yeah. I've seen metaphorical lightning bolts before.
True.
Angry lightning bolts. Yeah.
Guys, give me a bad rap.
No, you're all love and light, Melissa.
So, Mom, this is where you have to stop listening because we're going to start swearing now. So it's been 17 minutes in. It's good.
Oh, yeah. I haven't said a fucking thing yet. All right.
Oh!
Sorry, Mrs. Tittle.
So just real quick, if you want to try Jerry's monatomic gold, we're going to put his website and everything on our site, so you can check it out. There is a coupon code. It's Jerry20, so that's Jerry 20. I will definitely put that on the website. And you can go to the site and you get a discount on the product if you want to try it. And then let us know what you think. But, Josh, what do you got? You got something crazy? You got something on gold that no one knows?
Well, I got a one-part story, one-part opinion. The first thing I want to say is fuck the Anunnaki. They created us as a slave species, got us addicted to gold, and pieced off the planet and left us all confused like a bunch of dumb half-apes that we are. So fuck the Anunnaki. Everyone loves to worship them and talk about them. Oh my God, it's so interesting. They may have created us, but no one goes into the fact that it's fucked up. Yeah, that's fucked up. We couldn't even procreate for half the time they created us. They eventually gave us that ability. But also, I just want to say, gold, after this research, I just realized I will never buy gold again for my wife, anybody, myself. Gold is stupid.
What?
I will only eat gold.
Pissed.
I know. She'll get silver. Maybe silver's fine. I don't know. But gold, this is my opinion on it. It is just us being manipulated by these gods thinking it's something greater. And I'm going to start eating it because that seems like the true power in it. Because the Anunnaki were not concerned with golden statues. They didn't like golden statues.
Really well. Yeah.
Honey, I just spent $2,000 on an ounce of gold. We're gonna blend it up and we're gonna sip it through a smoothie with some kale. But yeah. So like,
suppository.
If you
Somebody's
buy
getting
gold,
a divorce. Somebody's getting a divorce.
So if you buy gold, you are an ancient god's bitch. That's my new opinion on it because you're just being manipulated by a 12-foot asshole who created us like thousands of years ago. So why do we love gold?
Whoa. Where is this coming from? Please tell people the source, because it's not what everybody thinks about the Anunnaki.
Okay, well, let me break it down for you. Okay, why do we love gold as a species? Where did this come from? Well, if you believe in the work of Zachariah Sitchin, however you pronounce his last name, it comes from the Anunnaki, who are a race of... Sitchin is a author who wrote a series of books. He was one of the few people that could translate ancient Sumerian tablets. Sumar, or Sumerians, are the first civilization that had like 100 of the first things a civilization does, from aqueducts to writing and stuff like that. They're in modern-day Iraq, is where this comes from, near the Tiger-Euphrates Valley. Sitchin was one of the few people that could translate these texts, and his basic... What he found was the creation myth of these beings. And the story goes like this. These 12-foot beings that look very human-like on a planet called the 12th planet, called Nirubu, whatever, is in a weird elliptical orbit. There you go.
Nibiru?
I just won't say it again. I'll call it the N planet. No, that's gonna sound big and racist. I'm gonna go.
No, don't say that.
I'm not saying that. I'm backing away from that. This planet,
okay.
This planet has a really long orbit that takes like 3,600 years. Apparently, the species lived there. Like their planet, like ours today, was failing. And the only way to save their planet was by putting gold dust in the atmosphere to reflect sunlight and help with whatever was going on with them, which is interesting because geoengineering today, one of the ways they would stop global warming is by putting metals in the atmosphere, like aluminum and stuff, and it would reflect sunlight and somehow help. That's also a chemtrail conspiracy, but that science is actually real. So these Anunnaki came here on spaceships, landed, and started mining gold, first in the Persian Gulf, where they kind of got frustrated. Then they moved to South Africa. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in South Africa when it comes to old ancient mine sites that look like they were made from lasers, like all these stone circles everywhere. And it looks like they went there and they were like, okay, this is where all the gold's at. So we're gonna they basically took most of the gold on the planet, and most of it was in South Africa area. So they got bored after a while. These Anunnaki did not like being in cave systems and mining all the time. So they eventually, the lead scientist named Enki, who could be the father or mother or whatever sex it was of humanity.
It was a father.
It was a father. Okay, that makes sense because a lot of this stuff is clearly like you take this tale of creation and you could start there and get to every single major religion. There's echoes of it in every major religion and all the way up to today. So the father of humanity, Enki, crossed an Anunnaki man with a female hominid, which was an ape or a monkey princess, I think is how it's described, and created the first humanoid.
I want to be a monkey princess.
It sounds fun, but it feels a little rapey.
Okay.
It's not good.
Never mind.
So
maybe I don't
want
want
to. The actual first human was birthed by an Anunnaki woman, and then after a while they created this slave species to mine the planet, but eventually they were tired of making them anymore, so they gave them the power to procreate. And then to sum up the whole long story, eventually they left the planet and left us here, and they helped create Sumar and give us our first civilization. So I guess they left us a parting gift by helping us a little bit, but still, go fuck yourself. You landed here and you turned us into like a slave species and then abandoned us and then made us obsessed with gold the whole fucking time. They can eat a bag of dicks. The Anunnaki are the worst. No one should like them. I believe in good aliens. I just want to be clear, but not 12-foot assholes from Prometheus, that movie. So they made us in their image. From the Bible, when they say God made us in their image, that was the Anunnaki. That comes from the Anunnaki. They made us in their image. We're half ape, half them. They're not 100% human looking. They're somewhere in between. I don't know. I mean, I guess the apes are pretty close enough for them to make us, but I don't really fully understand it. So that is the whole quick story of like...
It's science.
And science. But you know what's funny? You know gold was mentioned in the Bible before Eve even comes into it? Like before we even get into like... anything in the Bible, they talk about gold being in like the Arabian Peninsula and how awesome it is. There's so much gold. So before they even bring up humans in the Bible, they're talking about gold, which is just really interesting. So just a quick fact for you. 80% of all gold in the world right now is used for jewelry. So when people say like, oh, it's so rare, we use it for electronics and space, all that is true and interesting in when I back this up to why the Anunnaki wanted it. But for most of human history, it was only ornament. It was only jewelry.